All right, we're live for an emergency episode. Huge news today. Huge news. We have a stream tonight for CONCACAF Champions Cup, and that's the only stream I thought I was going to be doing. But with this breaking news, we had to talk about what's going on. Javier Mascherano is out as the Inter Miami manager. And we're going to talk about if he was fired, if he went on his own accord. We're going to talk about it all. And talk about who is maybe going to replace him at Inter Miami and how he got here. But before we get into that, if you guys are just joining us, make sure you guys like this stream down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, we are 490 subscribers away from 13,000, and hit that little bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos or emergency live streams. Okay, so there was a report earlier today by one of our friends, Inter Miami News Hub, who said he had heard that there could be a change in coaching for Inter Miami. He said that he had heard there might be a change. That's all he gave. You know, he said this like maybe 2 hours ago. And then I think he doubled down on it probably 20 minutes before this news dropped. And I have been messaging people all morning to see if they had heard the same thing. You know, is he really out? Like, what is happening with Inter Miami? And then we get the news officially dropped by Inter Miami. Javier Mascherano has decided to bring his tenure as head coach to an end. A champion who, together with his staff, will always be part of Inter Miami, family forever linked to our first star. And let's click on this too, just to check it out and see if there's anything else. Let me zoom in on this so we can read it a little better. I have not read the actual full statement yet. I want to let everyone know that for personal reasons, I've decided to end my tenure as head coach of Inter Miami. First and foremost, I would like to thank the club for the trust they placed in me, every employee who is part of the organization for the collective effort, but especially the players who made it possible for us to experience unforgettable moments. I also want to thank the fans and La Familia, because none of this would have been possible without them. I will always carry with me the memory of our first star, and wherever I am, I will continue to wish the club all the best moving forward. I have no doubt that the club will continue to achieve success in the future. Sending you all a big hug, and thank you for everything. Okay, so that's Javier Mascherano's statement on departing the club, right? Okay, so here's my thoughts on it. I think he was fired. Okay, I think he was fired. This is the same thing we saw with Tata Martino. Tata Martino left for personal reasons, right? 2 coaches in a row leave for personal reasons. Come on, this is just a nice way of getting fired. I believe he was canned. And if we can talk about why he was, with the disappointment that he has shown, especially this year for Inter Miami. But he was definitely let go. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you think Mascherano left on his own accord, or do you think that he was fired? Do you think Mascherano left on his own terms, or do you think he was actually fired? Also have to mention too, forgot to say this, MLS Moves is presented by FanDuel, our proud sponsor of the channel. Forgot to mention them. Very thankful for what they do for us at MLS Moves. Mr. Appreciate you for stopping by. Chat is going wild right now. But, you know, also too, there's just so much to dissect, but you know, this does show that there is some accountability, because Inter Miami has had a very disappointing season in 2026. I mean, they won MLS Cup in 2025, right? It was a great season at the end. There was a lot of hiccups and stuff. There was a lot of struggles for Inter Miami at certain points in 2025, but they finally won MLS Cup. They were able to seal the deal, and that bought everybody time, and that made everybody feel like that things were on the right track, right? They had figured some things out. Luis Suarez got suspended. Messi plays a false 9. Matteo Salvetti started to shine. Tadeo Allende finally started to shine. And yeah, Tommy, remember when Tata stepped down? Yeah, seriously, what are the chances that 2 coaches step down in a row? Come on. That is the Inter Miami way of saying you're fired, okay? But so they really started to pick up, and they look good, and they won MLS Cup in 2025. And then in 2026, there were expectations. And I want to look at how they started off this season, but there were expectations for this team this year. Jorge Mas said that their goal was to win every trophy possible, and that they were going to try to win the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Those were his words. Those were the owner's words that they were going to win CONCACAF Champions Cup and they were going to win everything. Okay. So they struggled in the beginning of the season. They lost their first game 3-0 to LAFC in an embarrassing fashion. And then in Champions Cup, they got a first round bye because they were the MLS Cup winners. So they automatically advanced to the round of 16. And their first series was against Nashville SC. Nashville SC is a good team, and it was going to be a tough battle. Inter Miami normally is very good against Nashville SC, and they lost in the first round to Nashville SC. So they didn't even win their first series in CONCACAF Champions Cup. They failed the worst way you possibly could in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So there was obviously some tension and some disappointment. They spent $16 million on Bertarame. They officially made the signing of DePaul for $17 million official this year. They signed Tadio Allende for $5 million. They brought in Dane St. Clair. They brought in Mikael. They brought in Facundo Mora, Sergio Reguilon. They made all these signings to end up being worse than they were in 2025. And so this has just been an absolute disaster so far in 2026. And I'm going to be honest with you. I thought there was a chance that maybe Mascherano would get fired after the Champions Cup, disaster, because their whole season kind of felt, I don't want to say pointless. That's not the right word, but it kind of felt like, what was the motivation going forward, I guess is the better way to say it. When you put all your eggs into the basket of, we're going to win MLS or we're going to win Champions Cup, we're going to run for it, we're going to make the final, we're going to do all this, and then you lose in the first round, it's very deflating. It's like, what do you do? Like, what is the motivation going forward? Real quick, got a $2 super chat from Adam. He says, what happened? Did they fire him or did he resign? I think he got fired, but that's just my opinion. I don't think Miami fire coaches directly. I think they say that they resign for personal terms. 2 times in a row that a coach has resigned for personal reasons. Only guys that step down usually is if they have a serious illness. Exactly. And I don't think Mascherano's got that. I don't know for sure, but I don't think 2 in a row. I seriously doubt it. But after the Champions Cup, losing, it's almost, what is your motivation? What are you fighting for? You've already won MLS Cup. This was the new trophy you were trying to chase. And it just ends in the worst possible way so quickly. I mean, they got bounced in March. And the season doesn't end until December. So their whole season was, I don't want to say it's over, but you get what I'm saying. Like, what they were chasing is just stopped in its tracks early in the season. And that's really demoralizing for a team, that really, in the fan base and everything. Now they had the stadium opening up, which is something to look forward to, but that was the first big X mark, I guess, on Javier Mascherano. Now, if you look at the team as their performance this year outside Champions Cup, it still hasn't been good. Now, they are currently 3rd place in the Eastern Conference, okay? They are currently 3rd place. But if you watch the team, they're just not playing good ball. Like we've watched Inter Miami under Javier Mascherano. They do not play a beautiful brand of ball. They struggle to score. They haven't won a game they opened their brand new state-of-the-art stadium last week, or 2 weeks ago, against Austin FC. They got a draw in that game. And then they played the Red Bulls this past weekend, got a draw in that game. So they got this brand new stadium, this fortress they've built, and they have not won a game there yet. And I'm curious to see when the last game they won was. Let's see. New York City, which was a good win, was their last win. And that was like 3 weeks ago. And then before that was DC United. But in their last 5 matches across all competitions, they've either got a draw. It's like 4 draws and 1 win, 0 losses. But it's just very underwhelming for what this team is trying to do. This team had expectations to win every single trophy. Every single trophy. And by the way, we have 132 people watching us live right now. We only got 19 likes. Guys, smash that like button down below if you haven't already. It helps us out. Let's get to 100 likes on this video. Smash that like button. Also, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. I want to ask you guys this because I want to get you involved too. And then we'll move on to our next talking point with this is, are you surprised that Javier Mascherano left Inter Miami, got fired, whatever you want to call it, he's gone? Are you surprised that Javier Mascherano is out as Inter Miami's manager? And do you think he should have been out as Inter Miami manager? Should he have been fired as the manager? Or do you think they should have tried to keep him and see how the season progressed after he won MLS Cup in 2025? Just curious to see what you guys think, if he should have been fired or if you think that it was a good move. Let me know down below. Mr. Mister says, I'm surprised he lasted this long. Yeah, I mean, I do think that is a little surprising after the Champions Cup. Most teams would have fired their coach after losing like that, because that, like I said, that was the whole season. And, when you're out of that, it's like, what do you have left? You might as well just move in a new direction. So I'm not surprised, and I am surprised as well that he did last this long. But the good news is about this, and I'm waiting to see what else a couple other people are saying. I'm surprised mainly because he won them their first MLS Cup. I felt like it would have saved him for the rest of the season. No, I could see why you would think that, because in MLS you get an extremely long leash. But I do think Inter Miami is trying to change the standards of the league because they want to be better every year. And so even if you win last year, it's about what's happening now, not what happened last year. So I'm not really surprised. I'm not surprised because I think this was a long overdue. If he hadn't won MLS Cup, he would have been fired last year. He was very underwhelming last year, I thought. Bold move, surprised, but it proves me that Messi and David Beckham don't play. Yeah, and we'll in a second we'll talk about who you guys think should be the next manager. But I mean, they have high standards. Does Jordy come back out of retirement? I don't think so. I'm surprised because he's Messi's boy. Yeah, but Messi has. This is another thing too. Messi has had several coaches in his tenure with it. Throughout his career. I was looking this up a couple of weeks ago when I was talking. I think it was Scotty Gray. He came on. We were talking about. I don't remember exactly what the subject was, but we were talking about coaches. I think it was after they lost in the Champions Cup, and we were just talking about how. Under Messi, or when Messi played for Barcelona, they had several different coaches. It's not like Messi just had one guy and just wrote it out with him the entire time. He is used to having different coaches. I mean, look at this. So he had 1, 2. This is Messi when he was at Barcelona, okay? He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coaches at Barcelona. Eight different coaches at Barcelona. So he's used to having different managers. It's not like they just had one guy his entire tenure there. He's had coaches for 1 year. I mean, look at this in 2012, 2013. Tito Villanova was the manager for one season, fired. Tata Martino hired the next year, one coach for 1 year, fired. Like this is, there's I don't even remember who this was, but coach for like 7 months. And, Ronald Koeman was only there for 1 year. But this is not new. Like, this happens, right? This is not like it's not like Messi's not had a coach for 1 year and they fire them and get a new one. I imagine that there'll be an interim manager until the World Cup. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about who should be the next manager for Inter Miami. Who should be, I want to know what you guys think. Who should be the next manager for Inter Miami? Who should replace Tata Martino? Javier Mascherano. Javier Mascherano replaced Tata Martino. But who should replace Javier Mascherano? There's a lot of good managers out there. And there was even, what's the guy's name for Club America? Is it Jardine? Let's see. I'm trying to remember what his name is. Club America manager. I think it is Jardine. Yeah, Jardine. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. He's a Brazilian manager. There were rumors about him taking over for Inter Miami when Mascherano was really struggling last year around the summertime. At that point, there were rumors that Andre Jardine was going to possibly take over for Mascherano at Inter Miami. He's done a very good job at Club America. He's coached in Brazil. He coached at Atlético San Luis in Liga MX. He's coached at, obviously, Club America. He's won the league 3 times at Club America. He won the Apertura twice and the Clausura once. And, He won Campeones Cup, which I don't really put a lot of stock into that, but he is a very good manager, Liga MX's best manager. This was someone that they were rumored to be interested in if they had moved off of Javier Mascherano last year. Now, fast forward, a year later, who would they hire now? Okay, so let's read some of these. I'm gonna read what you guys say. See what some of these names. Let's see, Nancy. Let's see, Xavi. I don't think Xavi would want to. Tito Villanova was one of the one that left because he was here. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, that does ring a bell now. Actually, Wilfred Nancy, Xavi. Xavi sounds like a good idea, to be honest. Speaks Spanish and he knows the game well. Let's see. Greg says, wait a minute. Is Mascherano going to Saudi with Matt Crocker? Maybe. Andrea Jardine. Jardine has been on the decline for the last year. I'll give him, Tobar, I'll give him a little bit of slack, though, because to be fair, they haven't played a home game at, what is it, Estadio Azteca in a while, right? So, I mean, any team that doesn't get to play a home is obviously, it's going to be a little harder to play your best, right? I mean, you do what you have to do, but still, I feel like that definitely has to play a factor in it. Zidane, Xavi Alonso, no Nancy. I think Nancy's probably destined to. I think that Wilfred Nancy's probably destined for Orlando City if he comes back to MLS. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tito, I'm so sorry. That's my bad about Tito. I'm sorry. Yes, I stand corrected. He got sick and he had to leave. That's my bad. He got sick. He was not fired. He left because he was ill. That I just want to clarify. He was ill. But also too, they've had a turnstile of managers. So even if, regardless of circumstances, they had to get a new manager in there, as soon as he left. So Messi, like I said, is used to having different managers. Javier was a youth coach. Why they never thought he was a good move is crazy. Well, they wanted him because I think he had a relationship with Jorge Mas. He had a relationship with Messi. And so I think that they thought this was kind of like two birds, one stone type thing. And they could get him in here and he could be someone that the players would respect that played with him. They hired him when Busquets was there, when Alba was there, Suarez, Messi. They thought that he would be a good transition, and also having that relationship with some of the younger Argentine players. They thought this was a home run hire. Wasn't a home run hire, but they'll try to pick off one of the outgoing World Cup coaches. That's a good shout. Cringe says, hey, Will, wow, this is wild. He needed to go. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree that I think that he should have went because the standard is to win trophies, and he failed miserably this year. His report card was horrible. His report card was horrible so far in 2026. Okay, so here's who I would hire, okay? This is the guy that I've wanted them to hire since the opening first came up in 2024, at end of 2024, early 2025. I think they should hire Xavi Hernandez. Now, some of you guys are going to say they could not hire Xavi. He will not come to Inter Miami. No way, no how. That's not happening. But let me make my point to my argument of why I think he might come here, okay? Xavi Hernandez is a good manager, okay? He is a good manager. He had a great stint at Barcelona, or pretty good stint. He played the kids, got the minutes, and helped them develop. I don't think Lamine Yamal would be Lamine Yamal without Xavi Hernandez. I really don't think he would. He was the one giving him minutes first, okay? He was playing him, all right? And I know that he didn't win the Champions League. When the hell's the last time Barcelona won it? 2015 against Juve? It's not like they've had several managers that have won that. It's not like he's the outlier here, But he had a good winning record with Barcelona. He won them the league, and he was fired after what his second full season he was fired. So he was fired after his second full season. And I think that Barcelona is obviously a whole different animal. But I think the main reason why I like him at Inter Miami is because I like his brand of ball. I like his development record. And I like that the players would respect him. I feel like he's the kind of guy that will tell Messi, he will tell He'll tell any of the players straight up, like he'll be honest with them, and he will hold these guys accountable. And I think that he'd be really good. So I think he'd be really, really good. I honestly think that he would be my number one hire for Inter Miami uh, to replace Javier Mascherano. I think he's a good coach. I don't know why people say he's not good. I think he would be good. And I do think that they wanted to hire him the first time. I do think that he wanted to. I do think that they wanted to hire him the first time, but I think the money just wasn't good enough. I think that they wanted to pay him. He wanted to be paid like $10 million, and they only wanted to pay him like $5 million. Sorry, we're on baby duty as well. My bad. Got a little upset camper over here. Yeah, we got upset baby. We got upset baby over here. I had to do the stream though. But either way, this would be my number one hire. Now, there's obviously some good managers too that are available, like Jim Curtin and Wilfred Nancy. But I don't think I would hire them because I think that they really need someone who has a relationship with some of these players, and that's why I do think Andre Jardine is an interesting candidate. But I do think that there is a little risk with that because he doesn't know any of these guys, and he doesn't know. He doesn't have any relationship with these guys, and it's a different league. So I think that would be too risky of a hire for Inter Miami. I think Xavi checks all the boxes, and he would be my number one target for them to hire to replace Javier Mascherano. Real quick, I'm going to play an ad real quick. I have to play this for FanDuel, our proud sponsor of the channel. So I'll be right back in 44 seconds. Hey, everyone, quick word from our sponsor, FanDuel. If you're into soccer like I am, you already know how exciting La Liga, the Premier League, and MLS matches can get. With FanDuel, you can make it even more fun by placing bets on your favorite teams and matches across all three leagues. Whether it's a Premier League showdown, a La Liga thriller, or an MLS game with your local club, FanDuel makes it easy and exciting to bet on what you watch. Just remember, you have to be 21 years or older to play. Please bet responsibly and only if you're of legal age and in a state where it's allowed. Download the FanDuel app or head over to FanDuel.com, sign up, and get in on the action. Thanks for supporting the channel through FanDuel. All right, we're back. Yeah, so this would be my number one hire, but I will say this. I trust that Jorge Mas will make a good hire. I do trust that he will do whatever it takes to get the team back on track to win. He has proven this over and over again. And I will say this too. I meant to say this earlier. I don't think that Inter Miami, all their struggles were just because the players weren't good, like Bertarame. I don't think Mascherano did a good enough job of getting some of these guys involved in the attack. And I think that that's why a lot of their struggles happen. Now, Bertarame is not blameless in this. He's not blameless in this, okay? He obviously has struggled, but there's been a lot of players that just haven't looked good in 2026 under Mascherano. Like I said, Allende didn't look good. Salvetti doesn't look as good. Bertarame didn't look good. Messi, think about this, guys. Messi, and maybe I'm wrong after the last game, Messi doesn't have an assist in 2026 because there's nobody that can score, nobody that can finish chances. So Messi has 0 assists in 2026, at least in MLS he does. And I think that's just like the team is just not playing well. So having this, change of scenery, or not change of scenery, but change at the helm, I think is good for the team to see how they play down the stretch. And I do think that if they hired the right manager, that they could get things turned around and be a force, because this team has so much talent. I mean, they do. They have so much talent on this team. And I think they just need the right coach who can put it all together and who can get the most out of the players. And maybe that they'll make a couple moves in the summertime. Maybe they'll move off a couple guys. But I really think that they need to see what they can get from the current roster with new leadership and see if they can maybe turn things around and get more out of it. Because Bertarame was really good in Liga MX. He was almost like in Golden Boot contention every single year. And in Miami, he's got 1 goal in 7 games. So I don't think that is all on him. I think that's a lot of positioning in the formation and the coaching. So I do think if they can get the right coach in here, things could turn around. And it's probably exciting for the fans in a sense too, just to see what happens. Just to see what they can do with a new leader in charge. And I do think Messi is obviously going to play a role in who they hire. I mean, he was a role in Tata Martino. He was a role in Javier Mascherano, but we'll see what he can do or what his preference is in this next manager. I think Xavi, I go all in on Xavi. I would go all in on Xavi personally. I would. I don't think an MLS coach with a historical MLS coach, Jim Curtin wouldn't fit with his team. Wilfred Nancy wouldn't fit with his team. They need to go hire someone who can kind of gain the respect and develop some of these young guys. I mean, you got to think their entire starting 11 is international based, so it's not like they really need to have someone who understands the American player. So I apologize for that. She's a little fussy. But I think that this is the one that checks all the boxes. And Inter Miami is getting a new coach. Felipe Luis is a good shout too. But we will see what happens. I'm gonna have to go, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see what happens. Exciting times for Inter Miami. New coach will be hired soon. We'll see who the interim coach is going to be. I don't think it was announced. Might be Javier Morales. I'm not sure. But we will see what life after Javier Mascherano looks like for Inter Miami. Very exciting times. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please make sure you guys like the stream down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. MLS Moves was presented by FanDuel, our proud sponsor of the show. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon. And don't forget, we have a live watch along tonight for LAFC versus Cruz Azul. See you guys later.